if you find yourself with a camera in your hand and you want to learn how to use it, please subscribe to this channel, like the videos, comment down below what you would like to learn more about. Hi Photos subscribers. Today we are talking about white balance and how to do white balance. The important thing about white balance is making sure that your color is as close to natural coloring as can be. The reason for this is if you try to color correct in post-processing, when you're looking at your image on your computer, you can waste a lot of time trying to get the reds, the blues, or any other colors you're trying to nail. Very time consuming to get those colors just right. So how you do that is setting your camera to a white balance naturally, so that when you're shooting in the same lighting conditions, same atmosphere, your colors are as they should be with that light shining, whether it's direct sunlight or studio strobe lighting or flash lighting or natural lighting with reflected light. So it's important to make sure that if you add any other artificial lighting to what you're shooting or to natural lighting, make sure that you white balance again so that you have what is consistent with what colors are, and that your image is not being tinted or recolored by the light you have now added to your image. So that preface there is to give you an idea of what we're looking to do and why, so that in your finished image you have that very well-rounded good color to your image. And so that's really why we're talking about white balancing. I'm sure you know some of the why, and that's why you search for the video. So if any of you photographers are watching my playlist and you come across this video and you're wondering what in the world, why would I even color correct my camera? Isn't it supposed to correct itself? There are some white balance auto modes. They do their best to rough it in, but they're not going to give you a fine finish and polish. It's been my experience that when I do color correction and finalize that image with how I stage it and how I light it and all that, the rest of the photography detail in that sphere, in that world, the color correction is it's not a preference, it's something that really binds together the contrast, the focus, so the clarity of view. You see where I'm going? It's like any woodworkers we have out there creating a piece of furniture but not doing the finish work. It's a functional piece, but it just doesn't look like, well, professional. And so we're in this channel, we're working on taking our current skill level and leveling up. And so if you're a beginner, learning what white balancing is all about. If you're a consistent shooter and you just forget to white balance, find a way to streamline the process. I'm going to show you the menus in my Canon 7D so that you see how the menu is set up, and when you take an image you just go through and click it out. Okay, here we have the Canon Rebel XTI. This is one of the very first models of the Canon Rebel. So this is your original Canon Rebel T6, T5, T7. The white balancing should be the same. The firmware updates are going to be a little bit different, but here's what we're going to do. So we turn the camera on and we set our white balance here to custom is what we're going to be using, and we can use this right now to take the image so that we have our baseline to move from. But the real important aspect here is, let me get my camera straight, that we get an image we can use. Let me turn manual focus off, it's a little bit close, but all we really need is a clean white image. So now we get the image. I am not stable here, I apologize. And leaning over my shoot here. All right, so now that we have a white image, those are the two most recent images, and we are going to zoom out or go back out to our menu. And as you see here, like the other camera models you'll come up to, you have multiple options here for your white balance and other camera options. So we're going to go to camera menu 2, which is the second red one right up there, and move down to custom white balance. It's going to take you to your images, and it's going to ask you to take the image of white that it needs to color read, and you're going to want to select that one by setting the set button right in the middle of your menu selector. Now that it has used that image to set your white balance, and we are going to come back out to our display, and you'll see custom white balance right there. That symbol there with two blocks either side, and that display or black dot up in between above those two is showing you that you are using a custom white balance. So let me now take an image and show you what the white balance looks like now that we have taken our white balance and made it customized to our white piece of paper. And you can see there that our brown blanket and the white piece of paper have come out. Instead of that bluish kind of weird color, it's now a clean white, and it's a beautiful brown. Now, if you have a setup, as I used to set up in the studio, if you have a setup where you have very similar lighting and everything else, and you just want to rub it in real quick, you can do that. I would suggest that even though you rough it in real quick, you still do your first shot of whatever you're doing and throw a gray card in your shot so that you can white balance off of that gray card and then take your shot. So let me kind of step that out again. Throw a gray card in your shot, take the shot with the gray card, remove the gray card, step number 2, or well, okay, step number 3, get your shot all finalized. How did I say step number 3? Step number 1, get your shot set up how you want it to set up. And maybe even you don't want to touch anything. It is exactly how you want. So the color card doesn't matter at that point. If you don't want anything to move, just take that shot so that you have everything immortalized in that image. Now, when everything is done for your shoot and you have everything in place, put that gray card in the hand of your subject that you're imaging or in front of the product you're shooting, to be able to get very direct contact, and so that you know exactly the color of light or any other reflection coming at your subject, your object, and that you know specifically what color of light is coming across it. That way, when you put the gray card up against your subject and you take that picture with the gray card, you can come with that color profile on the gray card and have it color correct your other image. When you start doing this in your post-processing and having it color correct, I think you're going to be surprised just how much it changes. Even though you look at the difference between with color correction and after, it may not change it like reversing the image, but you can see some of the color leaves or some color is added, and it almost even looks like there's greater contrast. It's amazing what color correcting can do. So we'll give you some voiceover and some views of what the camera software looks like. Eventually, I want to be able to do this for as many camera menus, styles as we can. Across manufacturers, it's going to be very much the same, but I have not had a lot of experience with the new models of mirrorless cameras, so I want to be able to branch out to that. But all of this rambling and detail I hope has added value. This content has given you something to improve your photography and something maybe you hadn't thought about previously. Something that maybe only a professional would know or do as a random daily habit that will help and improve your photography. And I'll include some links to some products you can buy that are great cards to help you nail and very tightly group into what the colors are. Again, this is not just set your camera color profile once. This is every time you go out and shoot, getting your color profile for the lighting you have. So even if it's in the same day shoot, but you change the lighting, you turn one light down so it's not as bright, or you turn one light up, you add in a third, fourth, fifth light. Those additional lights or the change of light can actually adjust the color temperature, quote unquote. Most professional studio strobes should not change color temperature, but the direct possibility is that it can change color temperature. One more thing, flashes, studio strobes, especially LED lights, they will change color temperature. It may be a month or so, but you can't just set your color temperature white balance on your camera once and have it set for the rest of the camera's life or the lights or whatever else. It's important to set it every shoot, quote unquote, every time that you go to the studio to take a product shot or to take a portrait for someone. It's important to reset or re-white balance your camera. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this content has been something to improve your photography and it's a benefit to you. We appreciate your subscription if you are not already a subscriber, and adding any of this content to the way you shoot and improving your skills. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your comments down below of how this has helped you or what you want to see more of and how we can help you further improve your photography. Thank you so much. God bless.